In today's world, mastering your attention is not just a useful skill, it is a vital act of self-preservation. Attention is your most precious currency. It is the channel through which your life force flows. Every moment you are awake, you are either consciously directing your attention or someone else is doing it for you. And make no mistake, there is a global competition for your focus. Companies, media, and individuals are all trying to pull you in, distract you, and make you invest your awareness in things that often have no value to your soul. Consider this: every time you scroll endlessly on a phone, every time you engage in an argument that leads nowhere, every time you allow your mind to be pulled by something external without your conscious consent, you are paying with your energy. What you focus on, you empower. What you give attention to, you feed. Over time, this becomes who you are. In ancient traditions, especially in the teachings of the Shaolin, attention was trained like a muscle. It was not left to chance. You wake up, and before the world gets to you, you decide where your energy will go. You sit with your breath, you clear your mind, and you bring intention to your attention. The modern person wakes up and reaches for the phone. From that moment, their focus is no longer theirs. They are already behind, reacting instead of choosing. When your attention is scattered, your power becomes weak. Think of a magnifying glass focusing sunlight. With proper concentration, it can start a fire, but without focus, the light is harmless. Your mind works the same way. The more scattered your thoughts, the less effective your actions. The more divided your focus, the less depth you bring to anything you do. To master your attention, you must become aware of what steals it. Begin by observing your daily habits. How many times do you pick up your phone without meaning to? How often do you switch tasks without completing the one before? How often are you doing something with your body, but your mind is somewhere else, lost in thought, in worry, in memory, in projection? These are leaks, and every leak, however small, costs you vitality. Attention mastery begins with presence. Presence is the ability to be here, fully, in this moment, not regretting the past, not fearing the future. This moment is your point of power, but to remain in the present requires training. The breath is a powerful tool. Each time you feel your mind drifting, return to your breath. Let it anchor you. It is always here, always available. A single breath taken with awareness is more powerful than 1,000 breaths taken unconsciously. Meditation is the gym of attention. When you sit in stillness with nothing to do but observe, the mind will resist. It will try to pull you into thought. This is the training. You do not need to suppress thought, you simply notice and return to the breath again and again. This simple act strengthens your ability to stay, to remain, to focus. Another powerful aspect of mastering your attention is the ability to say no. When you say yes to everything, you say no to your own energy. Every commitment, every engagement, every distraction you tolerate is a seed that grows into a branch that eventually pulls you away from your center. You must protect your time like a sacred fire. Not everything deserves your gaze. Not every conversation needs your voice. Not every battle requires your sword. Understand that just because something is urgent doesn't mean it's important. Just because something is loud doesn't mean it's worthy. The world will always scream for your attention. But you must decide what truly matters. You must filter the noise. Simplicity is strength. When you simplify your focus, you amplify your power. Multitasking is another myth that depletes attention. The human brain is not wired to focus on multiple complex tasks at once. What we call multitasking is actually rapid tasks, switching, and it leads to shallow thinking, increased mistakes, and mental fatigue. Instead, practice doing one thing with total immersion. Whether it is eating, walking, working, or resting, be there fully. This brings not only better results, but also deeper peace. Emotional focus is equally important. Do not allow your emotions to hijack your awareness. Anger, fear, and jealousy can pull your mind into stories that do not serve you. Practice stepping back. Observe your feelings without becoming them. Let emotions pass through you like clouds across the sky. This is not detachment, it is mastery. You are not suppressing, you are choosing. It is also vital to remember that your attention is influenced by your inner state. When the body is tired, the mind becomes weak. When your nutrition is poor, your focus suffers. When your sleep is shallow, your awareness is dull. Take care of your body if you want a strong mind. Discipline in physical habits supports discipline in mental habits. Finally, cultivate stillness. In silence, you can hear your inner voice again. In stillness, you begin to sense what is yours and what is not. You remember that your energy is sacred. You realize that nothing outside you is more powerful than your inner clarity. Mastering your attention is not about control. It is about freedom. The freedom to choose what deserves your energy. The freedom to live intentionally. The freedom to direct your life rather than drift through it. Attention is life. Where you place it determines who you become, so guard it, train it, direct it, because once you master your attention, you master yourself. Your environment shapes you more than you realize. It whispers to you silently and constantly. It affects how you think, how you feel, and how you behave. The people, the spaces, the sounds, and the energy around you, all of these act as invisible forces guiding your direction. If you wish to protect your energy permanently, you must learn to guard your environment with deep awareness and unshakable discipline. Many people underestimate the power of their surroundings. They believe that inner strength alone is enough, that willpower can overcome any setting. While inner strength is essential, it cannot thrive in toxic soil. Even the strongest tree will wither in poisoned ground. To flourish, you must create and protect a space that supports your growth rather than stunts it. Begin with the people in your life. Human beings are social creatures, constantly exchanging energy. Every interaction is an energy transaction. Some people nourish you. Their presence brings calm, clarity, and inspiration. They listen, they support, they bring you closer to your higher self. Others, however, drain you. They complain, criticize, and operate from fear and ego. These people may not be evil, they may even be close to you, but their energy is heavy. And over time, it pulls you down. This is not about judging others. It is about recognizing resonance. Some people resonate with your values, your direction, your peace. Others do not. If someone is not aligned with your journey, it is okay to love them from a distance. Not everyone is meant to walk beside you. Your inner peace must not be the price you pay for company. You must also examine your physical environment, the spaces you spend your time in. Look at your home, your workplace, your room. Is it cluttered or clear? Is it chaotic or calm? Physical clutter often reflects mental clutter. A messy space pulls your energy outward, scattering your focus. A clean, organized space supports clarity, purpose, and presence. Create environments that reflect who you are becoming, not who you were. Your surroundings should mirror your values, your intentions, and your inner discipline. If you want more peace, bring more peace into your space. That might mean fewer distractions, softer light, meaningful objects, or silence. It could mean letting go of items that no longer serve you, not just physically, but energetically. Objects hold memory. Let go of what keeps you tied to an old version of yourself. Technology is another part of your environment that requires conscious boundaries. Your phone, your computer, your television, these are portals. What you allow through them enters your consciousness. If your digital environment is full of noise, negativity, and mindless content, it will affect your inner state. Be intentional about what you consume. Your mind, like your body, becomes what you feed it. Guarding your environment also means protecting your schedule. Time is space. If your days are filled with back-to-back obligations, constant urgency, and no room to breathe, your energy will suffer. Protect your time like sacred land. Make room for silence, for rest, for deep work, for spiritual practice. Do not let the world rush you. Pace is power, stillness is strength. Nature is one of the most healing environments you can choose. The natural world does not steal your energy, it restores it. Time in nature brings balance to your nervous system, clarity to your mind, and humility to your spirit. Whenever possible, return to the earth, walk barefoot, feel the wind, sit under the sun. Let the simplicity and presence of the natural world teach you how to be. Music, sounds, and smells are subtle parts of your environment that also influence your energy. Just as harsh sounds can agitate your nervous system, gentle sounds can calm it. Choose your auditory environment with care. Listen to music that uplifts you. Fill your space with natural sounds, water, birds, wind. Light incense or use scents that calm your senses. Let your environment speak peace into your body. Your energetic boundaries are also part of guarding your environment. If you are a sensitive person, you may absorb the moods, thoughts, or even physical tension of others. Learn to recognize when you are carrying energy that is not yours. Ground yourself, cleanse yourself energetically, whether through meditation, breathwork, movement, or visualization. Visualize your energy field as a sphere of light. See it strong, intact, unshakable. This is not imagination. It is training. Most importantly, guarding your environment is not a one-time act. It is a lifelong practice. Just as a garden must be weeded and watered regularly, so too must your environment be tended. Check in often. Ask yourself, is this space helping me grow or holding me back? Are these people helping me rise or making me shrink? Is this habit clearing my mind or cluttering it? The more you refine your environment, the more your true self emerges. You begin to feel lighter, clearer, stronger. You are no longer spending energy resisting what's around you. Instead, your surroundings begin to support your intention. You walk into a room and feel at home. You speak with someone and feel uplifted. You look at your space and see alignment. This does not mean you run away from all discomfort. Growth often requires challenge. But there is a difference between challenge and chaos, between resistance that sharpens you and resistance that breaks you. Learn the difference, honor the difference. When you guard your environment, you are not being selfish. You are being responsible. You are taking full ownership of your life force. You are choosing to protect what is sacred within you. And that choice, made again and again, leads to a life of greater peace, clarity, and purpose. You do not need to control the world to find peace. You only need to create a small space where peace is protected. And from that space, your energy will expand like ripples in still water. So choose your environment with awareness, guard it with strength, and let it become the silent foundation for your most powerful present life. Breathing is the most natural thing we do. From the moment we are born until the moment we leave this world, breath is our constant companion. Yet most people live their entire lives without truly understanding its power. breathing is not just a biological process, it is a gateway, a bridge between the mind and the body, the conscious and the unconscious, the external world and the inner self. When you breathe with purpose, you are no longer surviving, you are awakening. In many ancient traditions, especially within Shaolin wisdom, the breath is regarded as sacred. It is the key to mastering the self. Why? Because breath is the one function in the body that is both automatic and under our control. You cannot control your heartbeat directly. You cannot control your digestion or your blood circulation. But you can control your breath, and when you do, you influence all the systems around it. Most people breathe shallowly, unconsciously, only using the upper part of their lungs. This kind of breathing keeps you in survival mode. It tells the nervous system that there is a threat even when there is none. Shallow breath is linked to stress, anxiety, fatigue, and mental fog. It becomes a habit that slowly erodes your energy without you even noticing. But when you begin to breathe with awareness and depth, everything changes. Deep, intentional breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and restore mode of the body. It tells your mind you are safe. It brings clarity to your thoughts, calm to your emotions, and presence to your spirit. It brings you into the moment, which is the only place true power exists. To breathe with purpose means that you are not letting the breath happen by accident. You are guiding it, you are shaping your internal state deliberately. This is not about manipulating the body. It is about aligning with your natural rhythm. It is a return, not a force. Start by observing your breath. Just notice it, don't try to change it right away. Watch how it enters and exits the body. Notice the temperature of the air, the rise and fall of your belly, the subtle sensation in your nostrils. This alone is already a powerful shift. Observation creates awareness, and awareness is the beginning of mastery. Then begin to slow your breath down. Inhale deeply through the nose, allowing the breath to expand the belly first, then the chest. Exhale slowly through the mouth or nose, letting the body soften. With each breath, let go of tension. With each breath, come home to yourself. A good rhythm to begin with is the 4-4-6 method. Inhale for 4 counts, hold for 4, exhale for 6. This simple technique calms the mind and lengthens your state of focus. When you practice breathing with purpose daily, you are training your nervous system to stay balanced even in difficult situations. You are creating space between stimulus and response. Instead of reacting impulsively, you respond with clarity. This is one of the most powerful forms of self-control. Breathing also connects you to your emotional body. Emotions are energy in motion. When you feel anger, fear, sadness, or joy, your breath changes. It becomes rapid, shallow, or even pauses. Learning to breathe through emotion allows you to move through it instead of becoming trapped by it. Inhale into the feeling, exhale with release. Do not suppress the emotion, breathe through it until it transforms. In moments of high tension before a difficult conversation, a performance, a decision, return to your breath. 3 deep, conscious breaths can shift your entire state of being. The breath becomes your anchor in the storm. It reminds you that you are not your thoughts, you are not your fears, you are the awareness behind them. In movement practices like Qigong, Tai Chi, and Shaolin martial arts, breath is the foundation of power. Every movement is synchronized with the breath. Inhale to gather energy, exhale to release it. This breath, body unity, is what creates fluidity, strength, and precision. It is what transforms motion into meditation. Even in stillness, the breath is your internal rhythm. You do not need to move to practice breath work. The breath alone is enough to bring you back to center. Breathing with purpose also enhances your spiritual connection. In many languages, the word for breath and spirit are the same. In Latin, spiritus means both breath and spirit. When you breathe with awareness, you are aligning with something greater than yourself. You are tuning in to the present moment where all wisdom lives. The breath becomes prayer. The breath becomes presence. Make it a habit. Each morning when you wake up, before you reach for anything, take 10 deep breaths. Set the tone for your day. Throughout the day, whenever you feel overwhelmed, come back to your breath. Let it cleanse your mind like water flowing through a stream. Before you sleep, breathe deeply to release the noise of the day. Let the breath guide you into rest. It doesn't take hours. It takes intention. Even 1 minute of purposeful breathing can reset your system. The most powerful tools are often the simplest, and the breath is always with you. Remember, life is not measured by years or days, but by moments of full presence. And presence is born through breath. To breathe with purpose is to live with purpose. It is to claim ownership over your state of being. It is to stop reacting to life and start creating it from within. So let the breath be your teacher. Let it show you how to slow down, how to return, how to deepen. Let it remind you that peace is not found outside. It is always available in the quiet rhythm of your breath. When you learn to breathe with purpose, you no longer chase stillness. You carry it with you, always. Every moment in life presents you with a choice, to react or to respond. Reaction is automatic, unconscious, and often fueled by emotion. Response is deliberate, conscious, and rooted in awareness. The difference between the two may seem small on the surface, but the consequences are profound. One leaks your energy, the other protects and even multiplies it. When you live in constant reaction, you give away your power. You become like a leaf in the wind, blown in every direction by external forces. A comment from someone triggers anger. A delay at work triggers anxiety. A piece of bad news sends you into fear. You might not even realize it, but every reaction is a leak, a small hole through which your life force escapes. Over time, these leaks add up and you feel drained, unstable, and disconnected from your center. To stop leaking through reaction, the first step is awareness. You must begin to observe yourself. Watch how you respond to the little things, a loud noise, a delay, a disagreement, a criticism. Do you tense up? Do you speak without thinking? Do you internalize other people's moods or let their energy dictate yours? These habitual reactions often happen so fast that you don't even see them. But if you slow down and pay attention, you will begin to notice a gap. That gap is everything. In that gap between stimulus and response lies your power. That is where choice lives. That is where you decide whether to lose energy or keep it. When something happens outside of you, someone insults you, a situation goes wrong, pause, breathe, observe the emotion arising within you, then decide with clarity how you want to respond. This is not weakness. It is mastery. Anyone can react. It takes strength to remain still, to stay conscious, and to act with intention. Think of your energy like water in a vessel. Each reaction that bursts out of you pokes a hole in that vessel. You lose energy not just when something big happens, but every time you allow the external world to control your internal state. This is especially true with emotions like anger, frustration, jealousy, and fear. These emotions are not wrong, they are natural. But when they are unmanaged and expressed without awareness, they deplete you. Many people confuse reaction with strength. They think being loud, aggressive, or quick to respond shows confidence. But in truth, this is often a sign of lack of control. Real power is silent. It does not need to prove itself. It does not rise to every challenge or engage in every conflict. It stands still, unshaken, like a mountain. When you master your reactions, you are no longer a slave to your environment. You become the calm in the storm. One of the reasons people react so easily is because they are disconnected from their inner center. When you are not grounded in your body and breath, you live in your mind, and the mind, when untrained, is reactive by nature. It jumps from one thought to another, pulls from past trauma, fears the future, and seeks validation. The untrained mind creates stories that fuel emotional reactivity. But when you are connected to the present moment, anchored in your breath and your awareness, these stories lose their power. This is where daily practice becomes essential. Meditation, breathwork, and mindful movement like Tai Chi or Qigong train the body and mind to stay centered. These practices expand the space between stimulus and reaction. Over time, what used to trigger you no longer has the same effect. You become less volatile and more stable. You develop inner space, which allows clarity to arise even in challenging situations. It's also important to understand that stopping reaction does not mean becoming passive. It does not mean suppressing your feelings. It means learning how to feel without being controlled by the feeling. It means developing the emotional maturity to sit with discomfort and still make conscious choices. You are allowed to feel anger, but you do not need to shout. You are allowed to feel hurt, but you do not need to retaliate. Emotion becomes information, not a command. To stop leaking through reaction, you also need to examine the narratives you carry. Often, our reactions are not to the present moment, but to old wounds. Someone says something, and it hits a buried insecurity. A situation unfolds, and it echoes a past failure. When you react, you are often reliving, not living. Bringing awareness to these patterns helps you heal them. Once healed, the triggers lose their charge. What once felt like an attack now feels like an opportunity to respond from wisdom instead of pain. Another key is detachment. The more attached you are to outcomes, expectations, and control, the more you will react when things don't go your way. But when you cultivate inner freedom, when you realize that you are not your thoughts, not your titles, not your achievements, you gain emotional distance. You no longer need everything to go perfectly in order to feel okay. You are okay regardless, and from that place of peace, you make better choices. Let go of the need to win every argument, to respond to every insult, to fix everything immediately. Not everything needs your energy. Silence can be more powerful than words. Stillness can be more effective than action. Walk away if needed. Pause instead of react. Redirect your energy inward toward growth, practice, and purpose. In the end, the energy you save by not reacting becomes fuel for your transformation. It gives you more clarity, more focus, more strength to build the life you actually want. You move from being reactive to being responsive, from being scattered to being grounded, from being pulled by life to leading it from within. The less you leak through reaction, the more you radiate power, not the loud kind, but the quiet kind that moves mountains without shouting. You become like still water, calm on the surface, deep and powerful beneath. So the next time you feel the urge to react, pause. Breathe, return to your center, and choose with purpose what you will give your energy to. This is how you protect your energy permanently. This is how you reclaim your peace. Living with inner alignment means that your thoughts, emotions, actions, and values are in harmony. It is the state of being where who you are, what you believe, and how you show up in the world are one and the same. It is not about perfection or never making mistakes. It is about living with integrity, authenticity, and presence. When you live from this place, your energy becomes focused, your decisions become clear, and your life begins to feel deeply meaningful. Most people live out of alignment without even realizing it. They think one thing, feel another, and do something entirely different. They say yes when they want to say no. They pursue goals that do not reflect their true desires. They pretend to be someone they're not, just to fit in or avoid judgment. This disconnection creates a constant sense of inner tension. It drains energy and produces anxiety, confusion, and even physical illness over time. Inner alignment is not something that happens automatically. It is something you cultivate through deep self-awareness and consistent practice. The first step is to get honest with yourself. Ask, what do I truly value? What kind of person do I want to be? What matters most to me, not according to others, but according to my own inner truth? These questions are not always easy to answer, but they are essential. Without them, you are like a ship without a compass, drifting through life guided by the winds of circumstance and the opinions of others. Once you are clear about your core values, you must align your daily actions with those values. This is where many people struggle. It's one thing to know what you believe, but it's another to live it, especially when it's inconvenient or uncomfortable. If you value honesty, are you honest even when it's hard? If you value compassion, do you extend it to those who challenge you? Inner alignment means that your values are not just ideas. They are embodied in your behavior. This also means becoming aware of the times you fall out of alignment. Everyone does at some point. You might betray your own truth out of fear, habit, or pressure. That's human. The key is not to judge yourself, but to use those moments as feedback. They show you where healing or adjustment is needed. Each misalignment is a signal, not a failure. It is an invitation to return to yourself. Living with inner alignment also requires emotional congruence. That means allowing yourself to feel what you feel without suppression or pretense. Many people hide their emotions because they've been taught that certain feelings are wrong, weak, or shameful. But emotions are natural messengers. When you ignore or deny them, you break the connection between your inner world and your outer expression. To live in alignment, you must be honest about your inner state and learn to process emotions with awareness and compassion. This doesn't mean you must act on every feeling. Alignment doesn't mean indulgence. It means being truthful and aware of what's happening inside you, and then choosing your response from a place of clarity. For example, you can feel angry but choose to respond calmly. You can feel fear and still take action. The more you build this internal honesty, the more whole you become. Wholeness is alignment. Inner alignment also brings an end to internal conflict. Most people experience a tug-of war within themselves. One part wants this, another part resists. One part believes in their power, another part is full of doubt. This fragmentation wastes energy. When your mind and heart are aligned, your actions become more powerful and effortless. You stop second-guessing yourself. You move forward with clarity and confidence. This clarity simplifies your life. Decisions become easier. You don't need to debate every choice endlessly because your internal compass is strong. You know what feels right and what doesn't. You stop chasing things that aren't meant for you because you no longer need external validation to feel whole. You trust your own path. Living with inner alignment also changes your relationship with time. You begin to move at your own pace, not according to pressure or comparison. You stop rushing. You stop overcommitting. You learn to say no without guilt and yes without fear. Your schedule, like your actions, begins to reflect what truly matters. Another important aspect of alignment is purpose. When your life is aligned, you feel connected to something greater than yourself. That doesn't mean you need a grand mission or career that changes the world. It simply means you live with intention. You know why you're doing what you're doing. Even the smallest action, cooking a meal, speaking kindly, taking care of your body, becomes meaningful when it comes from alignment. In spiritual traditions like Shaolin, alignment is cultivated through daily discipline. Discipline is not about force. It's about devotion. It's about choosing to live each day in a way that honors your truth. Meditation, breathwork, movement, simplicity, stillness, these are practices that bring you back to yourself. They help you clear out noise, center your energy, and listen deeply. Without regular practice, it's easy to get pulled off course. You must protect your alignment. This means setting boundaries with people, situations, and habits that disrupt your inner harmony. It means surrounding yourself with those who respect your truth, not necessarily those who agree with you, but those who support your authenticity. It also means giving yourself grace when things go off track. Alignment is not a destination, it is a path you return to again and again. When you live with inner alignment, you begin to experience a quiet strength. You don't need to shout to be heard. You don't need to prove your worth. Your presence speaks for itself. There's a calm confidence that comes from knowing you are not betraying yourself. And that calm becomes contagious. Others can feel it. They are drawn to it, not because you are trying to impress, but because you are whole. In this state, your energy is clean, your intentions are clear, your relationships deepen, your creativity flows, your decisions reflect your truth, and life, while still full of challenges, begins to feel more like a dance than a struggle. Living in alignment is not always easy, but it is always worth it, because in the end, the greatest peace, the greatest power, and the greatest joy come not from the world outside, but from knowing that you are living true to yourself every step of the way.